Since 1987, the Predator franchise has introduced us to one of cinema's most iconic alien hunters, the Yautja. But did you know that there isn't just one type of predator stalking the galaxy? In today's video, we'll break down 8 distinct predator subspecies and hybrids that showcase the incredible diversity within this species. Let's start with the original and most iconic predator, the classic jungle hunter. This was the very first Yautja we encountered in the 1987 film, conducting its hunt in the forests of Guatemala during a communist insurgency. Standing at approximately 7 feet and 8 inches tall, the jungle hunter is distinguished by its biomask featuring distinctive mandible-like protrusions. This predator carried the essential hunting gear we've come to associate with the species: active camouflage, thermal vision, a plasma caster, and the iconic wrist blades. What made the jungle hunter truly memorable was that even though it enjoyed toying with its prey, the predator adhered closely to its species honor code. It systematically eliminated Major Dutch Schaefer's elite mercenary team, stalking and hunting the humans from the trees and taking their skulls as trophies according to Yautja tradition. Ironically, this same honor code became its downfall when it chose to face Dutch in hand-to-hand combat instead of taking him out with its plasma caster. Even though the jungle hunter easily overwhelmed Dutch's strength, it ultimately fell victim to one of his ingenious traps. In a final act of desperation, the predator detonated its self-destruct device, but Dutch managed to escape the blast radius in the nick of time. The jungle hunter represents the gold standard of what a predator should be: methodical, honorable, and lethally efficient. Moving much deeper into predator lore, we encounter the alpha predator, the founder and original ancestor of the current predator order. The Hishku-10 were originally a technologically primitive civilization that was completely subjugated and enslaved by an advanced alien race called the Amengi, who ruled over Yautja Prime for several centuries. Living in miserable conditions, they eventually broke free thanks to the efforts of a Hish leader named Ka'il. Ka'il was chemically enhanced and trained to be a fighter for his captors' entertainment, but he was also unusually intelligent and resentful. Once matured, he became one of the largest and fiercest of the Hish, and allied himself with other powerful slaves in neighboring occupied territories to orchestrate a large-scale revolution. Ka'il's armor and helmet are forged from an Amengi exoskeleton, and he would later be known as the Alpha Predator and First Hunter. What makes the Hishku-10 truly unique is their kill gland, an evolutionary throwback to the many centuries before the Hish had stolen faster-than-light travel. When stimulated, this gland would produce a secretion that increased strength in a Hish and caused them to kill anything within arm's reach. It was one of the only ways to survive in the ancient swamps of the Hish homeworld. Sticking with the more primal forms, we have the feral predator from the 2022 film Prey. This variant takes us back to 1719 on the Great Plains of North America, showing us a more primitive version of the species during their earlier visits to Earth. This Yautja variant was created due to a genetic isolation with different environmental pressures. Adapted to a drier climate, it had thicker oral tissue, scalier skin for moisture retention, a crushing bite for a different diet, and thinner, waxier dreads. The feral predator used less advanced weaponry than modern predators, and as his name suggests, engaged in a wilder style of battle. True to its name, this hunter worked its way up the food chain, battling snakes, wolves, and bears with its bare hands before targeting humans. What's remarkable about the feral predator is that despite its primitive nature, it still maintained the Yautja honor code, holding back on using its more powerful tools against weaker opponents. However, this Yautja was still sensible, and would use its cloak to conceal itself while fighting the wolf, grizzly bear, and tabe from the Comanche tribe. The feral predator's adherence to honor ultimately led to its downfall in the battle against Naru, as he had underestimated the young girl's ingenuity. By the time he drew out his bolt gun, he had fallen too far into Naru's trap to make it out alive. The 2010 film Predators introduced us to an entirely different subspecies, the super predators. These Yautja are roughly the same height as regular predators, but are significantly more muscular and wear lighter armor that appears to be made of leather rather than traditional metal. Super predators represent a more brutal evolution of the species. They've abandoned many of the honor codes that govern regular predator behavior, choosing instead to focus primarily on the thrill of the hunt. The super predators operate from a game preserve planet, where they bring the most dangerous prey from across the galaxy to their personal hunting ground. The most notable super predator was Berserker, their leader, who was originally a prodigy among the regular Yautja. However, he chose to abandon his old clan principles and formed his own colony. Berserker was distinguished by his distinctive dark black biomask and his completely savage fighting style that showed no regard for traditional predator honor. The ongoing conflict between super predators and classic predators was symbolically shown through the classic Yautja strung up on a totem pole in the super predator's camp, demonstrating their dominance over their more traditional cousins. The mutated Yautja represents one of the most terrifying variants of the species. This predator was exposed to the engineer's black goo, which fundamentally altered its biology, despite the fact that Yautja are normally highly resistant to viruses and biological agents. The black goo mutation triggered a painful transformation that left it with an extra arm emerging from its left shoulder, 10 mandibles instead of 4, and dark black eyes similar to those of an engineer. The mutated Yautja was also much taller and stronger than the others of its species, being able to rip a regular predator's arm clean off and punch right through a biohelmet with no difficulty. The added power may seem like an upgrade, but the mutation also gave the predator a permanent breathing difficulty and transformed it into a mindless killing machine. This means that the blooded predator's intelligence, honor, and hunting instincts were stripped away, leaving an enhanced body filled with pure, uncontrolled aggression. The mutated Yautja was so senselessly violent that it brutally mauled a member of its own hunting party and began eating the corpse before it was stopped. The 2018 film The Predator introduced the upgrade predator, also known as the ultimate predator. This 11-foot-tall behemoth represents the pinnacle of Yautja genetic engineering, created through the combination of DNA from multiple species across the galaxy. The upgrade predator was sent to Earth with a specific mission: to retrieve the Predator Killer, a suit of armor designed to give humans the strength needed to fight fully blooded Yautja on equal terms. The upgrade predator is so formidable in its enhanced size, strength, and technological integration. It's essentially a Predator 2.0, improved in every conceivable way through genetic manipulation. This variant possessed an incredibly tough exoskeleton that was capable of reflecting bullets fired at it and even shattering Yautja wrist blades upon impact. However, this enhancement comes at the cost of the traditional Yautja hunting culture, as the upgrade predator is more of a living weapon than an honorable hunter. This represents a controversial direction for the species, showing a faction of Yautja who are willing to abandon their cultural traditions in favor of retrieving their weapon from human hands. Working in direct opposition to the upgrade predator was the Fugitive predator, a rogue Yautja-human hybrid who represented something unprecedented in predator lore, a member of the species actively working to help humanity. The Fugitive predator broke from his species' traditions and came to Earth specifically to deliver the Predator Killer technology to humans, believing that humanity would need it to defend themselves against his own kind. This predator was unique in that it showed genuine concern for human welfare, ultimately sacrificing itself to ensure the defensive technology reached the right people. The Fugitive predator represents the possibility that not all Yautja view humans simply as prey or unworthy opponents. Its hybrid nature also suggests that the line between species aren't as rigid as previously thought, opening up fascinating possibilities for the future of both humans and predators. Finally, we have the predalien, perhaps the most infamous hybrid in the entire franchise. This creature was created when a xenomorph facehugger implanted an embryo into Scar, a young blood predator, creating a hybrid that combines the deadliest aspects of both species. This variant possessed many Yautja traits such as mandibles and dreadlocks, alongside stranger features like a yellowish hide, and had a long, multi-spiked blade for a tail. The dome covering the head was also slightly more transparent than a xenomorph drone's, and hollow eye sockets that could be seen beneath. The predalien's tail was much thicker, longer, and less skeletal than a human-spawned drone's. Its blood seemed to be slightly greener than that of the xenomorphs spawned from other creatures, suggesting it inherited some aspects of the glowing blood of its host. What makes predaliens particularly dangerous is that they possess physical strength far exceeding that of human-spawned xenomorphs, making them comparable in power to Praetorian guards that protect alien queens. They also have the unique ability to impregnate hosts through direct mouth-to-mouth contact, spreading the xenomorph infection more effectively than traditional facehuggers. The existence of predaliens is considered a great threat to the Yautja on Earth, and they become priority targets for predator hunting parties. The creature featured in Aliens vs. Predator: Requiem wreaked havoc on an entire town before finally being eliminated by the veteran predator known as Wolf. The predalien was killed when a tactical nuclear bomb was dropped on Gunnison by Colonel Stevens, along with Wolf, the Yautja was battling, and any surviving xenomorphs and residents in the town. From the honorable classic jungle hunter to the nightmarish predalien hybrid, which predator variant impressed you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the Alien vs. Predator universe.